you breathe purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
All right, welcome into this edition of Hoist the Colors. Friday, September 8th. It's a Painted Purple Friday here in Greenville because the Pirates are a day away from their home opener. The Marshall Thundering Herd are thundering into town as we speak. I don't know if they're taking the bus or flying, but they're making their way to Greenville, East Carolina, and Marshall. I assume they're flying. It's a pretty lengthy drive.
Yeah, it's a long one from West Virginia.
Yeah, it's not a fun one either. That is the voice of Joe Sampson, Joey Football. It's a Joey Football Friday. Joe, how you doing?
I'm great. Glad to be back. Glad to still be here.
You're still here. You may be breaking some equipment, but
every show is a gift. That's what I have to say.
That's there's no doubt about that. Philip Pilkington is behind the glass. Philip, what's up?
How's it going, guys? Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's a very happy Friday.
We got our game picks coming up later, and that's what I'm most excited about with our Friday show. Like look, we've talked Marshall all week long, and at this point, I'm kind of. You get to Friday, you just want the game to get
you're
right.
marshaled out.
Yeah, marshaled
game
out.
Planned
I'm just ready
out.
for the game. We will give our final keys. We'll talk about the quarterback situation here shortly, which everybody wants to discuss. We'll also, make our picks. What I'm planning to do is we'll do that in the second segment because this week we got 5 college games and 5 NFL games. This is the opening week of NFL as well. We'll talk about the Lions stunning the Chiefs as well.
Ooh, baby.
How about that? They didn't see that coming. As far as an outright win, that was a big win for Detroit. But, of course, this is an East Carolina-centric show. If you got a question, drop it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Tweet at us. Drop a question there. We'll get to it. Joe, how you feeling about this game tomorrow as a former player, now reporter? You confident in East Carolina? Are you nervous? How would you explain your feelings?
Can we call me a reporter? Is that allowed now? I've asked a question in a press conference to Houston.
You've asked the question to the coordinators and to the head coach.
There
I feel
we
like
go.
you're officially a seasoned reporter.
I'm a reporter now, Money Mike.
Yeah. So how you feeling from if you put your reporter?
If I put my reporter
on
cap on and take off my player cap.
Yep.
The closer we get, the more confident I feel about ECU's defensive attack. I think Ali has run great between the tackles over the last 2 years, except for when he was hurt, obviously, towards the back half of last season. But Ali is a shifty guy. He's not necessarily a downhill guy. And that's kind of what we saw with Albany. They started to go outside the tackles a little more, kind of stretch to what App State likes to do. And we've seen them kind of beat the Pirates with in the past. So I think that ECU's defensive front kind of holds them and they force the ball outside. And that's where I think we're going to have a significant advantage. The offense is still a question mark. We'll get into that shortly. If it's Mason Garcia, expect a lot more deep throws, intermediate throws. And if it's Alex Flynn, expect some RPOs and some quick game.
Let's get into that quarterback discussion now because, of course, that's what everybody wants to talk about. And, we'll see. When I was out of practice Tuesday, Mason Garcia started the practice, taking the walkthrough reps. Not that means a whole lot, but that's how it's been all offseason. We'll see who gets to start on Saturday between Alex Flynn and Mason Garcia. But at this point, based upon what Donnie Kirkpatrick has said, I guess we expect both to play.
He said it's a 2-quarterback system. I don't know if I necessarily would put all the weight in a double quarterback system because I've long believed if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have 0 quarterbacks. But you have to start and figure out who's working and who's got the hot hand, so to speak, as we use a baseball term to come out of the bullpen, as he said. But it comes down to what kind of game ECU wants to play. Do they want to go with the quick game? Do they want to go with Alex Flynn, game manager? Or do they want to try and take some deep shots and kind of beat him over the top?
So we talked with Donnie Kirkpatrick on Wednesday, and we got a couple cuts here. He basically said he feels like they need 2 quarterbacks. Let's play that cut, Philip, if we got it ready.
We talk every day, and we kind of go back and forth, I guess, a little bit. But what I've said time and time is right now I think we need both guys. I think we need both guys.
All right, there's Donnie Kirkpatrick talking about using both quarterbacks and basically says they feel like they need 2 quarterbacks. And I saw a lot of people react to this in the terms of, hey, like, if they don't know which quarterback they want to start now, then they're going to be in trouble. But for me, Joe, I just feel like we talked about it earlier this week, but it's got to play out on the field. Like, somebody has to go perform well, separate themselves on game day, win a game.
Right. And when NFL teams have a quarterback battle, it's not settled in practice unless it's a number 1 overall pick or a rookie like that. It's settled in games. It's settled in the preseason games. It's settled how they handle things under pressure when things don't go as perfectly as we thought. And that's what you have to do. I mean, anytime you have these guys who have limited game experience, Alex Flynn didn't throw a pass until last game in any of the games he's seen action in. So it's a completely different measuring stick. Obviously, Mason had the one start in a COVID year, but that's not this year. That's not what this team is, and that's not what this team is capable of.
And we also asked Donnie, you may have asked him this, about how to know kind of who to ride with the hot hand.
Yeah.
So this was his response on how to know which quarterback to go with.
It could be about who's completing passes. It could be about who's making runs, but it's really probably more about who's moving the chains, who's moving the ball, who's scoring some points. And so it's like any other sport you figure out who's hot. Sometimes it's just the feel, you know what I'm saying? After so many years, you just can see it in their eyes. You can just kind of tell by their attitude, you know, where they're at. And you get that feeling for this guy's, you know, he's feeling it. Let's get him the ball.
All right, there's Donnie Kirkpatrick talking about how to ride with the hot hand. And that's the thing, too, is whether it's Mason Garcia or Alex Flynn starting on Saturday, you know, to me, if the guy goes out there, they may have it scripted, but if he leads 2 drives and they score, whether it's field goal or touchdown, you got to ride with that guy, right, till it slows down.
Yeah, we've talked about that because if he scores 2 touchdowns in the first 2 drives, you can't go, okay, now it's Mason's turn or now it's Flynn's turn. You're in a game. You want to win the game. You want to control the offensive kind of mindset as far as, okay, if we take him out, are we kind of punting this next drive to see what he has as opposed to doing what was working well and understanding what our game plan is?
Trent Holler will be making his return to Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. The Trent Holler revenge game is here. He was started at center. If you're unfamiliar with him, he was a former ECU lineman from 2019 through 21. Got dismissed from the team for the whole off-the-field incident we won't get into, but now transferred to Marshall. He's coming back. Still a lot of good, good friends on the team. We talked about that with Taylor Jackson on Tuesday. You asked Donnie Kirkpatrick basically how they have to be aware. He may know some of the schemes, the verbiage. So how much of a role do you think that plays Saturday?
I think it plays a lot into some of the checks that you would see the quarterback give the receivers kind of give each other. There's a couple signals that we had that would kind of tell them what the assignment would be as opposed to what we had originally called. But I think with the verbiage now, the offensive line coach has changed, the system has changed, the scheme has changed. It won't play as large of a piece as we had originally thought because Morridge kind of runs more gap scheme, might have some different verbiage that when they call it on the line, they can't pick up on it. But I do expect it to be some kind of thing in the first quarter.
Really looking forward to watching that matchup between Trent Holler and ECU's defensive line and see how much trash talk we can see from the press box. You expecting some?
I can't wait for Big Tay to just talk his talk to Trent because those two used to go at it in practice even when Tay was a young freshman at 325 pounds, I think he was then. So still not small, and him and Trent would just go at it back and forth. So I'm excited to see how it plays out now in game situations.
Should be a lot of great battles in the trenches. And Rasheen Ali, I mean, he ran all over East Carolina in that 2021 game, and they would have plays bottled up, and he would, move and cut and just make guys miss. So tackling will be key. I thought the tackling in the opener, Joe, was extremely sharp, and usually that's not the case for game one, really.
No, and much credit to Coach Harrell and all these different coaches that have kind of put this emphasis onto tackling and leverage points. It didn't look in any situation like they were outmatched out in space against Michigan, or when they were in the box, they kind of tried for an arm tackle as opposed to going and attacking the near hip as they taught us, because East Carolina was so set on not being the team to miss a tackle or set to let up the big play off an arm tackle, and I think it really showed.
East Carolina and Marshall will go at it 4 p.m. this Saturday, tomorrow, as we record here on Friday. So I've always made a big deal about this. I want to get your take on it, Joe. Field turf versus natural grass. I feel like ECU plays so much better on natural grass because that's their home stadium. And when ECU goes on the road to field turf, I feel like maybe at times like skill position players can play faster, but I feel like cutting and moving, it's such a different feel with your cleats. Do you feel like it's an advantage when ECU is able to play like on natural grass? Like Marshall has field turf, so they're coming to play on natural grass, and ECU's used to that. Marshall maybe not as much.
Yeah, 100% that it's a advantage, especially with injuries and bounce back, and for the linemen especially to give that force to kind of bounce back off. And for the people who don't necessarily know what it is, with turf, most of the time it's a layer of concrete underneath or some kind of rubber pellets or almost construction netting type things that kind of your cleats can stick into and create these non-contact injuries that we've seen so many times. But East Carolina plays better because their ability to cut is more finite when it's on the grass as opposed to the turf. And teams, especially Tulane and these other teams that travel, and now we've mentioned Marshall, they're not used to playing on the natural grass, and it can have an effect on timing and cuts.
Do you guys have to wear different cleats at all when y'all like go to turf? Like I heard Memphis's field was terrible a couple years ago.
That's a concrete brick that they put turf over. Like there was no give to that field whatsoever. But most of the time it's the linemen that switch to it. They'll go to a flat bottom kind of a sneaker as opposed to a cleat like that, and it's easier to slide on and kick step because they're not necessarily digging in as much as a skill receiver. Some players will swap to a turf cleat, which is more of like a golf shoe as far as like rounded spikes as opposed to true molded cleat bottoms. But it's not a crazy huge thing in college. I know it's a huge thing in the pros.
Right.
And Terrence Copper spoke at length a couple conversations ago where he was like, yeah, there's a huge difference between the turf cutting and cutting on the field and what you're wearing.
I just always prefer sports on natural grass. Nothing drives me more crazy than
ban the turf, man.
Baseball games on turf.
Just ban turf in general. That is a soapbox I will get on. I will stand on it. Ban turf in general. It's destructive. It causes injuries. It's created some huge life-changing injuries for a lot of players that lost a career.
There you go, Joe Sampson on his soapbox here on a Friday, Joey Football Friday.
Ban turf.
East Carolina, Marshall, ban turf as we get set to play this game on the Bagwell Field natural grass. All right, biggest keys you're looking for heading into Saturday. Like, what do you want to see the most to lead to an East Carolina win?
The offensive line needs to control the line of scrimmage. They can't let these running backs get hit 3 or 4 yards in the backfield. That's going to create negative plays, put them behind the sticks, and that's going to cause them to kind of play from behind. And that's where we've seen kind of issues with Donnie Kirkpatrick's play calling in the past as he gets kind of conservative, worried about giving the game away when the game still has to be won.
And when you look at the offensive line, like how much – to me, I didn't evaluate much at all against Michigan because it was just such a night and day opponent. How much will you evaluate them this week? I'm not expecting them to be perfect because there's still so many moving parts, but this should be a more, competitive, fair matchup, right?
It's definitely a more competitive isn't the word I'd use, but it is a more equal matchup as far as you're kind of around the same competition level and the same aspects and the same kind of weight room numbers, I guess is the best way to put it, because these aren't freaks of nature. These aren't the mutant. These aren't these crazy guys running 4.25s with 3% body fat running off the edge in the Big Ten. These are guys that are a little more in our wheelhouse, a little more of the same talent level. They were in our conference when we were in the CUSA way back when. So it creates kind of a similar scale to kind of measure off of. So I would put a lot of weight into this week, but I wouldn't say it's the end-all be-all to understand where we are.
And defensively, on the other side, flipping the coin to that side of the ball, what are keys there that you're looking for?
I mean, we've talked about it now, and I'm sure people are sick of hearing it. You got to stop Ali. You can't let him do what he did in 2021.
You can't let him hit the big one. I mean,
no.
he hit a 73-yarder against Albany, and then he hit multiple big ones against ECU. So at least make him earn his way down the field. And it sounds like he had some fumbling issues in the opener, so maybe that's something you can take advantage of too. Yeah,
he kind of carries the ball a little loose as far as running backs go. They want 3 points of contact, the chest, the hand, and then into the shoulder to kind of create that pocket that you see most of these professional running backs kind of do in the NFL. And Ali kind of carries it a little loosely. He's kind of flailing it around, so there's a chance for ECU to pop one for a turnover.
All right, let's get our first break in. We'll come back. We'll make our game picks. We also got to get to our lock of the week, presented by Anson Belt and Buckle. We may do that in our game pick segment. We may save it towards the end of the show, but it's just a feel thing, guys. Like,
feel it out.
When's it going to hit you that you want to make that lock? That lock. Lock it up.
I should have made it my lock last night.
They should have. You missed your opportunity.
Yeah, 2-0 against the spread now. So going into the NFL season riding high.
Enjoy while it lasts because it's not going to last.
No.
All right, we'll come back. We'll make our picks. I'm horrific. Had a horrific week one, so I got a lot to recover from. We'll be right back. Hoist the Colors, 94.3 The Game.
A huge selection of new Toyotas is ready to go at Greenville Toyota. Rush in for the one you want before it's gone. Camrys, just $269 a month. RAV4s, ready to go for just $289 a month. Now at Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef. brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
At GoEco, we don't just supply the office space. We create solutions for any environment. Our state-of-the-art commercial-grade video display is perfect for watching film with the team. From film study to the field, elevate your game with GoEco.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
New Toyotas are ready to go at Greenville Toyota. Shop a huge selection with new inventory arriving daily. Don't see what you want? We'll find it or order it for you. Plus, fresh trades are rolling in and ready to go for delivery today. Rush to Greenville Toyota.
This is ECU head football coach Mike Houston, and you're listening to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back into the show. Appreciate Coach Houston for leading us back in. He was our inaugural guest back in the spring when we kicked off Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game. So Coach Houston and his team will be in action tomorrow inside Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. We'll see what happens. Probably trying to get the win #1. We'll pick that game here shortly. Guys, it is our game picking segment. We were talking off the air, Philip, me and Joe. You know, we get to Friday, we talked about everything ECU Marshall under the sun. Like, I'm kind of looking forward to just picking these random games and picking NFL, talking some NFL, because it allows us to mix it up a little bit. So, by the way, congrats on your 3-3 week, Philip. I know you got to be feeling good right now.
That was huge.
Thank you. I mean, I'm not feeling good as much as I'm just feeling y'all should be feeling bad. Like, I don't think I did great. I just I was the fortunate of my opponents kind of stinking it up, I guess.
Yeah, this is horrific. So
300 gets you in the Hall of Fame, though, Philip.
Hey, baby, I was going 500. Not what you're hearing about. 500
that's
definitely
a good
gets me in the Hall
day.
of Fame. Yeah, it is.
So we picked the 6 college games against the spread last week. The only game I got right was East Carolina, Michigan, and I barely got that one right. I whiffed on UTSA. Thanks, Malik Fleming, and thanks Frank Harris for just throwing him the ball. I mean, the worst interceptions I've ever seen.
Do you
in my
remember
life.
that scene from The Waterboy when Bobby Boucher takes him? He's like 62, and he just hands it to him?
That's basically what it was.
That's what Frank Harris did. He was like, you know what, Malik, have a second one.
Philip got Houston on that. Me and Joe missed that. TCU, Colorado, we all owe Deion Sanders an apology.
Coach Prime, I'm sorry.
Well, Joe and I really do, because we said that they would cover it easy too. Joe and I were both predicting like 45-7.
I did.
It was bad.
I mean, I certainly expected them to go out there and just get mollywopped, and instead they Travis Hunter just playing both ways. We'll get into that discussion, how sustainable it is, because we got to pick Colorado this week versus Nebraska. We all missed that. UNC, South Carolina. I picked South Carolina. Excuse me. Y'all picked UNC. South Carolina just looked overwhelmed by UNC's defensive front, which I didn't see coming.
Yeah, Chiswick's done a good job kind of remolding that from what it was last year.
So that's my fault for believing in Shane Beamer, who one time wanted to be the East Carolina coach. LSU, FSU, we all missed that. We all picked LSU, and that we owe an apology as well to the Seminoles. And then Clemson and Duke, we all missed as well. So, and look, I mean, Clemson just threw up on itself all game long.
Yeah.
So that is what it is.
Sweeney's on the fast track to kind of dropping out of coaching and going to be a Southern governor here shortly. So that's what's headed this way.
Hey, just to be fair, Duke had some bad things that happened in the first half. They could have easily been up by 17 at halftime.
This is true. Philip wants the record to show
we
there's
know
not
that
enough respect
he's a Duke
for his
He's
Duke.
a Dookie, okay? We'll just
He's a Dookie.
He's a Dookie, and we'll keep that in mind all season when they're going to start 4-0. They're probably going to have game day when Notre Dame rolls to town, and then they're going to get smacked, and then it's going to go downhill. I will say, though, having a $5 million NIL fund helps.
Yeah,
so,
that's probably pretty nice.
But when half the NBA went to your school, it's easy to get a $5 million.
That's true.
That's also fair.
So, by the way, our overall standings right now, myself bringing up the rear, last place, 1-5 against the spread. Joey Football 2-4, respectable, and Philip 3-3 after 1 week. But hey, guys, it's a long season. Not how you start, it's how you finish. And we're adding NFL to the picks this week. We're going college 5 picks, NFL 5 picks. So let's get into it. Speaking of Colorado, Deion Sanders, Nebraska, and Matt Rule coming off a heartbreaker against Minnesota, as Nebraska so often tends to do. They just lose in the most brutal fashion possible. This week they're on the road against the Buffaloes. Colorado goes from a 20-point dog to TCU to a 3-point favorite over Nebraska. How are we feeling about this? Can they handle the hype? We'll start with Joe.
I got to buy into Coach Prime. I mean, we've heard him all week on interviews talk about, we said we were going to do this is what we're going to do. But there's a clip, I don't know if you've seen it, Igo, where he talks about how this week is personal. One of the coaches has a connection to Matt Rule, and it's like, this week is personal. And they are chomping to go like it is a Week 11 road rivalry game. So I'm going to take Colorado. I'm going to take the points, but I have them going +7.
So you got Colorado covering?
Yeah.
I just apologize to Deion, but you know what? I'm going to pick against him again.
That's not Prime.
I'm going to say that Nebraska, all this hype, man, there's so much hype. Now I don't know if they can handle it. And if they do, then props to them. But I'm going Nebraska on the road outright winner.
All right, well, go to Philip. Philip, who rules?
I think Boulder is going to be rocking. It's going to be the biggest crowd since Bill McCartney was the coach in the early 90s. He took them to the national championship. Yeah, it might have taken him 5 downs against Missouri to win that national championship, but they still won it. And I got to believe in Coach Prime. I picked against them at Nebraska a couple years ago. This is the second leg of a home, and they went in Nebraska. Scott Frost first came back and beat Nebraska, forced a couple late turnovers, and I think they do it again this week. I'm going Buffs.
Philip, does this have anything to do with your hatred for Matt Rule after the dumpster fire he left the Panthers as?
It might have a little bit to do with that, and also probably a little bit to do with the fact that my family's from Colorado, and if I pick against them again, I don't want. Yeah. Well, of course, maybe I pick against them and they win, so maybe I should keep picking against them.
Nebraska, Colorado. This game is being played in Boulder, and it starts at 12 noon Eastern, so that's a 10 a.m. start, Boulder time. I mean, that is...
See, but here's the thing.
That's pretty brutal. I know
for ECU, that'd be bad because we drink, and it takes a while to get drunk. In Boulder, they partake in other things, and it progresses a little faster. So I think they're good. By the way, ESPN just sent out a notification that Colorado, Nebraska is attracting the most bets around the country, more than any other game, NFL or college.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like, the bounce back versus the – like a team coming off a loss like Nebraska, usually you get that bounce back factor versus a team coming off a big win, you get that slide back factor. I'm going with Nebraska. I don't feel good about it, but it just feels like a letdown spot for me for Colorado. But I tell you what, I'd be more impressed if Colorado follows this up with another big performance than winning last week. Like, doing it consistently is the challenge. Justice Bradburn on YouTube says, no chance Colorado loses the home opener, but Nebraska could shock the world. He also says, so maybe slight chance Colorado blows the home opener. So which is it, Justin? Yes,
you got to pick one.
He's on both sides. Robert says Matt Rule is a defensive specialist, and Colorado only had 55 yards rushing last week. Is Matt Rule a defensive specialist, according to our Panthers fan in there?
I don't know. I mean, you got to think that when he was there, Panthers defense was much better than the offense. But you got to remember, he was at Baylor before that. What is the Big 12 known as? Crap defense. I watched, remember those you think you can hurt my feelings videos? This girl said, you think you can hurt my feelings. My dad was a Big 12 defensive coordinator. And that explains that right there. No, he is not a good college defensive coach.
We'll find out this weekend how much of a defensive specialist he is. All right, let's move on to our next game. Ole Miss is a 7.5-point favorite at Tulane. This is a top 25 matchup, folks. Should be a good one. I know you're taking the over, Joe.
I'm hammering the over.
You're taking the over. By the way, aren't you taking an under at some point too? That's just what we got to talk about.
I need to issue a public apology. Last night to my fans, I let you down. I took an under. I saw the numbers. I saw what Jared Goff had done in week 1, the last 6 years, now 7, and win. I took the spread, and then I knew the under was going to hit. It was too high. I failed you. I'm taking the over this week, though, for this game, so I will redeem myself. The over will hit.
So this man talked all last week about life is too short to take the under, and he takes the under for the NFL game.
So here's the thing, there's one big factor that I think people are forgetting, and that is money. I like to win.
Completely fair. Otherwise, you don't want to lose.
I don't want to live in a box.
So who are you going with? Are you living in a box right now?
No.
Okay. No. So as long as you don't lose too much money, you'll be good.
Exactly.
So, but
you need to know who to win, what horse to bet on.
Right. Exactly. So who are you going with here? We know you're expecting points. Ole Miss or Tulane?
It's difficult. I got to go Ole Miss. And I know some people are going to hate me because the Lane Kiffin hype train keeps it chugging and the king of the portal's at it again. But I just don't see, and I'm not doubting Willie Fritz's defense here, but I don't see them holding up against Jackson Dart and Trey Sanders and whoever else they decide to roll out a quarterback this week to throw for 450 yards because Tulane plays a lot of cover 3, so we're going to see a lot of bombs away. So I give it to Ole Miss, who also has a great rushing attack that we don't talk about enough. Yep. So I'm taking the over. I'm taking the points. I'm taking Ole Miss.
A lot of hype for Ole Miss. By the way, the most interesting rumor I ever heard about an ECU coaching search was Lane Kiffin interviewed for the job in Raleigh for the East Carolina job before they hired Mo. I never confirmed this, but the rumor I heard was his wife drove to Greenville during the interview, hated it so much that she just told Lane, we're not taking this job. I don't know if that's true.
He wasn't built for Greenville.
Basically. So Lane, I guess he could have been the head coach at ECU, but maybe that's just total made-up farce. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this game. So let's hear Philip's take first, and then I'll make a pick.
You love to do this, don't you?
I love throwing it on you guys. Clearly it worked so well last week.
That's why you threw me first.
I do think the Rebels win the game, but it's a one-score game. So I'm taking the Green Wave to cover plus 7.5.
7.5. I think Vegas is begging you to take Tulane, so I'm taking Ole Miss. I just feel like Ole Miss is going to roll in there and put up 40-plus. I think Tulane will score high 20s, 30s, but I think Ole Miss wins by a couple of scores. All right, Texas at Alabama. This is a 7-point spread. I don't even need to hear y'all's take. I'm taking Bama all day. I think Bama absolutely rolls in this one.
Am I on the tight camera here, Philip, or am I on the wide shot? Because horns down, give me Bama, give me the points. Texas is not back.
Yeah, you never bet against Tom Brady, and you never bet against Nick Saban. I'm going Bama.
Not in Bama either.
No, not there.
So is Texas really projected to be this good, or is Vegas saying Bama might be down?
I think what we have to consider here, is every year they go this route with Texas.
Right.
And every year we have the same conversation. Why did Vegas put Texas so far in the front? I think they're trying to cover their own tail. I do not believe in Texas. They look kind of lackluster against Rice. We have made our qualms about Rice. I do not believe in Texas. I do not believe in Quinn Ewers. I think Sarkisian is in over his head as far as being in the Big 12 and going to the SEC with that program.
All right, we got do y'all want to pick ECU Marshall first or Notre Dame State?
Let's save the Pirates for last.
Okay, we'll save the Pirates for last. So Notre Dame, 7.5-point favorite at NC State. We'll start with Joseph. You rolling with the Pack or the Fighting Irish?
I am a longtime member of the Dave Doran Hate Club. I stand by this. I am the president, I am the treasurer, and I am the vice president. I'm going to take Notre Dame outright, but I would take NC State points. I think it'll be close, but I do give Notre Dame the win, but I have NC State covering.
I feel like every time NC State plays a big game at home, they usually rise up. And I think this will be a one-score game. I'm taking NC State to cover as well. Philip.
A big believer in Sam Hartman. And I think he finds a way to win it by 2 touchdowns. I'm going with the Irish.
Ooh, the cover's bold.
That's bold. But
you're picking a guy who has his fractured rib around his neck on a necklace. That has to be a safe bet.
That is true. That's a real thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
They showed it on game day when they played Navy. He has like the piece of his rib they had removed on a necklace.
Why would you do that? I guess it's cool.
Because he's crazy.
Apparently so. He's like barbarian-like. That's pretty.
He
pretty
looks
awesome.
like a Neanderthal. So
this, by the way, I'm going against my own advice here because Notre Dame at 7.5. They're begging you to take State. I am taking State. May regret it, but I just believe in NC State at home. Like they usually play well. Marshall is a 2.5-point favorite at East Carolina. This line opened, I think, at about even. Then it went to Marshall 3.5, and now back to ECU. Is a 2.5-point dog. Who wants to step up and be first to pick this game? I see Phillips already got ECU written down on the stat sheet.
No, I don't have it written down for me. I have it written down for Joe because he already predicted the final score on Talk of the Town this morning.
Because he's correct. There you go. On Talk of the Town, I predicted it. I'm going to ride with my prediction. ECU 31, Marshall 28. I think it's the last-second field goal. I think it's over. I think the kicking gods will look upon us with favor, and I think ECU finally breaks that late kick curse. And most of all, I think that the Pirates cover.
Pirates cover according to Joseph. We'll go to Philip next.
I think the Pirates are trailing 3. Mason Garcia leads them down the field as time expires, throws a touchdown, 28-24 Pirates.
Touchdown to Shane Calhoun?
Sure. Whoever. I don't know, but he establishes himself as the starter after leading the Pirates down the field for a game-winning touchdown.
East Carolina and Marshall have played some phenomenal games. I think this will be another one. I think I just feel like these two teams are built very similarly. You know, Marshall likes to run the ball. We know ECU will want to run the ball. I think it'll be a lower scoring game. I do think ECU wins at the end, near the buzzer. Maybe not at the buzzer like you guys are saying, but I think the Pirates put up a fourth quarter score as the difference maker. I'm going East Carolina 24, Marshall 20. So Pirates cover. So there are our college picks. Go. Now we're on to the NFL, boys, and this is what I'm excited about. You know, as with my job, like I'm so ingrained with ECU. Like it takes the fun out of it to some degree. But I can have fun on Sundays watching the National Football League, and that's what I look forward to most. You changed to your Jets jersey. We're not going to pick the Jets yet, but I know you're fired up for this.
Yeah,
week.
Clearly I'm taking the Bills. Like that's obvious here. The time is now. We are out of the darkness.
Yeah. The NFL is here. How about the Lions last night, fellas? That was as a Broncos fan, definitely excited to see that. Anytime the Chiefs lose at home, it's a good thing. As a Denver fan, we got all of our favorite teams here on the picks. We got Panthers and Falcons on the pick sheet for Phillip. We got Bills, Jets on the pick sheet for Joe. And we also got Raiders, Broncos on the pick sheet for myself. So we will start with Panthers, Falcons. We'll make the pick first. Philip's producing, doing some stuff. Are you a Panthers believer, Joe?
And that's a difficult question because it's more of am I an Arthur Smith hater? I'm too nervous about how the Panthers rookie quarterback is going to look week 1 against a non-first year head coach or a non-first year starting quarterback because Desmond Ridder has some time now under his belt. I give it to the Falcons against the spread.
3.5-point favorite.
I give it to the Falcons. I think it'll be close. I think it's a 1.2-point loss kind of thing. It'll come down to the field goal and executing late in the fourth, but I do give it to the Falcons.
So you think Panthers cover? Or
yeah, I think the Panthers cover. I take the Falcons outright. I think the Panthers cover.
Gotcha.
So give me the Panthers points, Falcons outright.
Falcons 3.5-point favorite. I feel like Carolina just typically does not play well in Atlanta. I don't know why. And I feel like there's a lot of hype around Carolina this year for just, I guess, because they drafted Bryce Young and because the division is so terrible. But I'm going Falcons as well. I think the Falcons win by a touchdown in Atlanta. Phillip, I have Atlanta covering. Phillip has Carolina covering, but Atlanta winning. What are your thoughts on this game?
The Panthers only play well in Atlanta when it's the final week of the season. Both
This is
2008 and 2013, they've been in a must-win situation to win the division and to go 12-4, and they rose to the occasion in Atlanta. But it is not the final week of the season, and usually they get torched. I do think they lose by 1 score, so I really wish I could buy a point here to go for it to be 2.5, because I'm not sure if they're going to lose by a field goal or a touchdown. But there are more points to the good on that 3.5 if they lose by 1 score than not. So I guess that means I've got to go with the Falcons cover because they could win by 4, 5, 6, or 7 instead of just 1, 2, or 3. So I'm gonna go with the Falcons there.
First off, I'm proud of you, Phillip, for putting your brain ahead of your heart. That is, very few sports fans can do that. So
I can't,
props to you.
I'm not a huge homer. Like, I went and filled out I'll pick every game at the beginning of the season. And I did that yesterday afternoon. I have the Panthers at 7-10. I feel like that's pretty respectful. I think if everything goes their way, they can win 9 games. But I think 7 is about where the realisticness lies.
7 could win that division. You never know.
It could.
All right, San Francisco at Pittsburgh. There's really not a lot of great games week 1 in the NFL. I thought this was one of the more interesting games, though. San Francisco, the favorite, traveling east to Pittsburgh. They are a 2.5-point favorite on the road at the Steelers. I'm just going to tell y'all right now, I'm taking the Steelers. I know the Niners are good.
Really?
But I just feel like people are sleeping on Mike Tomlin and this Pittsburgh team, and I think the Steelers win week 1 and cover the spread.
Well, my little brother is happy at home. You said that. He is a huge Steelers fan. I don't know how that happened. I couldn't tell you. It's a family full of Jets fans. He wound up a Steelers fan.
There's a lot of bandwagon Steelers fans out there. So.
No, he's been through the tough times. I would like to issue a statement. I think the 49ers win by 2 touchdowns. I think the offense looks great. I think Christian McCaffrey has an incredible day for both my fantasy team and the 49ers. And I think not only do they cover, but they score and win by 2.
So is Brock Purdy their quarterback?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, I'm off that train. I think that I'll tell you what. You know what? Right now, Anson Belt, lock of the week. The Steelers win by 10 points or more.
Whoa.
Wow.
Pittsburgh Steelers are going to run away from the San Francisco 49ers.
You weren't kidding. Sometimes you just feel it.
Brock Purdy will throw a pick, and the Steelers will win. So I'm taking Steelers to cover.
My upset pick of this week when I was doing just the games outright was the Steelers. And considering the Niners are favored by default, I'm picking the Steelers to cover.
There you go. So we got 2 on the Steelers. For some reason, I'm picking the Steelers to win by 10 or more. But, hey, when you feel it, you just got to roll with it. That was completely unprompted. And we'll get our lock of the weeks later from Joe and Phillip to close out the show, unless you guys have one unprompted too. So
I have one.
I think there may be one coming from Jets Bills. Who knows, though?
Maybe. We'll find out.
All right, Raiders Broncos. I'm a Denver fan. This game terrifies me. The spread terrifies me. Did y'all know that Denver has lost 6 in a row to the Las Vegas Raiders? How pathetic is that?
That's rough, especially because I know of all teams in that division, you hate the Raiders the most. You got to hate the Raiders the most.
So there was an overtime game last year, 22-16, 32-23 Raiders won early in the year, then 17-13, 34-24, 32-31, and then a 37-12 beatdown back in 2020. So that streak has got to come to an end. If the Sean Payton era is going to be anything, it's got to come to an end today, this weekend. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think Denver wins by a field goal, so I'm going to Raiders cover. Las Vegas covers. That's what I'm going in Denver.
Yeah.
3.5 is the spread.
Well,
Broncos.
As crazy as that sounds, my Anson Belt lock of the week is the Raiders by 7.
Wow. I should just leave right now.
Not only do they cover and win outright, they score more and they win by at least 7, maybe even 10. I do not believe in the Sean Payton offense. I think he is so far beyond what the current game is as far as understanding players, and that they don't play cards in the locker room anymore. They go stream on Twitch. So I don't know if Sean Payton can connect. He told Russell Wilson to stop kissing babies and shaking hands. I think he should stop throwing interceptions. Give me the Raiders.
I really am shocked that you didn't go lock of the week Jets win. But
I don't need to lock it. That would imply that I have a doubt. Like, I just know. That would be unfair.
That's all right. That's fine. All right, Philip, you grew up in a Colorado family, right? So
Yeah.
So what's your pick on this Broncos game?
You know, Garoppolo does always win his first start with a new team, even when he has no business winning it. But I don't know. Is Josh Jacobs even playing in this game? Is he still holding out?
I think
he's
playing, yeah.
Oh, he is? I
He's
still
signed.
don't even know how the Raiders are going to score points. It's going to be like a low-scoring, slummy, bad game, 17-10 Broncos.
I have two names for you that you don't think the Raiders can score. Jacoby Myers came over from New England to Josh McDaniels, his former offensive coordinator, and two, Michael Mayer, the X Factor, the tight end from Notre Dame. They picked him early. They expect him to be a huge player in their offense.
Yeah, I don't know if Garoppolo is going to get him the ball.
He got Kittle the ball.
That's true.
I
could get Kittle the ball.
As bad as Denver was last year, they beat Garoppolo and the Niners.
This is true.
So maybe that gives me hope, but I just don't. I don't know if I buy the Sean Payton hype either. I'm not feeling it. As a Denver fan, I hope I'm wrong, but something worries me here. All right, a couple more games to pick. Dolphins at Chargers. This looks like it could be one of the best games of the week. You got Miami traveling east. The Chargers are a 3-point favorite. And I'm going Chargers at home to cover the spread. Although, really, are they even playing at home? Because most of the time you have more visiting fans there than home fans. But I'm going Chargers with the Dolphins traveling west. Joe?
I take the Chargers also. I think Justin Herbert has a rifle for a right arm. I think that offense is going to be too dynamic. The defense is what worries me. I think McDaniels might get him into a shootout, but I do have Herbert pulling it out late. So give me the Chargers and the points.
Phil?
Anson Belton Buckle, lock of the week. Justin Herbert throws 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
Chargers win by 10.
We're easily going to miss all these locks of the week. By the way, Anson Belton Buckle, lock of the week, is presented by Anson Belton Buckle. Are you game day ready? We got a game tomorrow inside the Fick. Are you game day ready? Do you have your Anson Belt and Buckle ready to roll? If not, you need to visit ansonbelt.com/ECU and check out their great collection of holeless belts, including ECU officially licensed buckles. Anson Belt and Buckle, the official belt of East Carolina Athletics. I saw Tegan Wilk on Instagram.
About to say.
Posting his new. I mean, he looks sharp, man.
He does.
He looks sharp with the new Anson Belt, tucked in shirt. If you want to look like Tegan Wilk and Mason Garcia and get all the ladies, then get your Anson Belt and Buckle. By the way, I had to make that read exciting since we're probably all going to miss our locks because the Broncos are going to win, Joe.
Okay.
Hate to tell you. The Steelers, to be honest, the Steelers probably are not going to win by 10 against the Niners, but I just felt it.
You believe in Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Kenny Two Gloves.
Kenny Pickett, and also I got Najee Harris on my fantasy team, so
I
feel good about that. Phillip is going with the Chargers. Herbert, 4 touchdowns. That's aggressive, but hey, it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Well, no Jalen Ramsey. I mean, it could happen. Miami doesn't really have a secondary. They have burnt toast known as Eli Apple.
That is true.
So,
Eli Apple, former great New York Giant. Did he play for the Panthers as well?
Yeah, Saints,
like
Panthers,
right?
Giants, and I think I'm still missing like 2 teams.
Bengals, didn't he?
But yes,
Not
that's
great.
right. Yeah.
All right, Bills, Jets. We know. All right, we'll save Joe for
Save me
last
for
because we know what he's going to say. 2.5. We'll start with Phillip on this. How you feeling? Monday Night Football, Bills, Jets.
I believe in the Rodgers hype. However, it's the first game, new offense. I think the Bills, with it being 2.5, I think they kick a late field goal, win this one, 24-21, 27-24, something like that.
Yeah, I'm going Bills. Going Bills by double digits here. All the hype going to be on Aaron Rodgers, MetLife Stadium. Going to be rocking. Oh, wow. It's such an imposing atmosphere. Josh Allen's going to come in. He's going to throw 4 touchdowns. I'm not going to make him a lock of the week because I've already used it. But I'm going Bills roll. Aaron Rodgers looks miserable the entire game.
Phillip, I need you to check a stat for me because I'm correct here. I'm pretty sure that Aaron Rodgers has never lost an opening Monday Night Football game as long as he's been in the NFL.
How many times has he played on opening night on Monday Night Football?
He's also
I think
never
like 11.
played for the Jets.
Really? He's played that many Monday night
I believe
games?
he's like 11-0. That's why I would like you to fact check me because I've been wrong before today, and I'd like to not be wrong again.
I'll fact check
So
that during
while
the
I
break.
go on my rant, please confirm.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is the next name that Jets fans have heard. We have gone through the Brett Favre era. we went through the Adam Gase era of Sam Darnold. We thought Christian Hackenberg was going to be our savior. We wasted a draft pick on Bryce Petty, praying that he would get us out of the dog days where Quincy Enunwa would punch Geno Smith in the face. We finally have a Southern California quarterback who can lead us back with a defensive head coach and an absolute unit playing on the offensive line. Give me the Jets. It's not close. I have the Jets by 10. I believe I would also use my Anson Belt lock of the week, but I feel like that would be a little kind of counterproductive to use my own home team, so I had to go different. But the Jets by 10.
Jets by double digits. I got the Bills by double digits. These picks are going to be all over the map when we come back here next week. And this was fun, boys. It was a 30-minute segment. I guess we got to get a break in.
We do, but real quick, Joe, I did Google like his all-time Monday night games, and based off the dates, it looks like he's only played like 1 week, one Monday night game.
Undefeated, though.
1-0, yeah. But one's a lot different than 11.
He has never won a game
Barstool,
with the New York Jets, by the way. So we'll see if he can do that.
He's never lost a game with the New York Jets.
John Payton's never won a game with the Broncos.
He probably won't by the end of this weekend. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll circle back to ECU Marshall. If you got any questions for us, hit us up on social media. A lot of good comments on YouTube we'll get to as well. All right, we'll be right back. Hoist the Colors, 94.3 The Game.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Just because voice-over IP telephones are the latest technology in the telephone world doesn't mean they're the right choice for you and your business. Whether your internet provider is unable to support a voice-over IP phone system, or you don't have a need for high-tech features and simply want to stick with a traditional system, Spain Telecom is here to help. Spain Telecom offers a variety of services to keep your business connected and competitive. We're confident we can find the right phone system for you and your business, a system that addresses all your communication needs. Looking for a new phone system that won't break the bank? In addition to new systems, Spain Telecom also offers gently used systems that are in great shape and can save you money. No matter your needs, Spain Telecom has a solution for you. Whether it's voice over IP, on-premise systems, new or used, give us a call at 252-353-2006 and let Spain Telecom help you with your communications needs.
Pizza?
Yes. All pineapple.
No.
What's wrong with pineapple on pizza?
I only eat pizza with pizza things.
That makes sense. Pineapple is a pizza thing.
Also makes sense. Is it though?
This tastes great.
That we agree on.
Let's agree to agree. Pepsi Zero Sugar tastes great.
Can't you just pick off the pineapple?
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Everything you need to know in the world of ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got to get a quick segment in here for another break, so we're going to go round table real quick. One ECU player that needs to have a big performance Saturday for the Pirates to win. We'll start with Phillip. Who you got?
Against heavy run teams, you need your Mike to step up both pre-snap and post-snap, so I'm going to go Taylor Jackson.
Taylor Jackson. It'll be his third career start. He started the bowl game, then last week as well played the most snaps of any defensive player. Good pick. I'm going Jalen Johnson. I think ECU needs a number one receiver to step up. I think Jalen will play a lot more outside this week along with slot. I think he leads the team in catches a touchdown pass, and the Pirates win, as we stated earlier. Joseph.
I'm going to go with Cactus Jack Powers. He was reinstated. I texted him at Saturday, 2:29 p.m. exactly, and I said clean hit because the NCAA got it wrong. I think he has a huge game. I think he shows up for the Pirates. I think the 1-2 punch of him and Jeremy Lewis off the edge is going to be something Marshall can't hold on to. I like Jack Powers.
Please give Samuel Danka some snaps as well. This
Yes,
is my
please.
last cry.
PSA. Please give
get them
Sam
all
Danka.
in the field, all three at the same time.
Especially because Harold mentions him in
All
the
the
presser,
time.
and he goes, yeah, could be a good week for Sam Danka. We're waiting.
He got 2 snaps last week out of 60-plus for the defense. So we'll see
Let him pass
if
rush,
he gets
man.
any more this week. There's no doubt. All right, we got to get our final break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show, give final keys, thoughts to victory. Keys to victory and thoughts on the game. That didn't make much sense. We'll do that on the other side. Hoist the Colors, 94.3 The Game.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You can't name a lot of things that I didn't do. Stacking paper like a book, not a Kindle. You outdated, I'm the one they getting into, and I ain't break a sweat. Let's get it, 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 let's get it. Child, please, I don't need a child, please.
Are you game day ready? Anson Belt, the official belt of ECU Athletics.
Are you ready for a digital hair color revolution? The Color Master Factory by Chi and LG. A masterpiece of innovation, unlimited color formulations, limitless possibilities. Long-lasting color. Chi.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
With Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Hoist the Johnny Roger!
Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
All right, welcome back into the show. Painted Purple Friday. ECU in action tomorrow. Is this purple or is this like burgundy?
No, that's close to purple. You've had some ones that were like teeter-tottering.
Right.
That's purple. We'll give it to you.
Check it.
Philip?
Trying to decide if this
Yeah,
is...
it's not quite pirate purple, but it's still a
purple.
shade of purple.
Yeah. It's... is it more violet?
Yeah, maybe a violet. That's
Yeah.
a good word to use.
Whatever works. You got your Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl shirt on? What's the story behind that?
I got connections. Yeah, a buddy of mine played at Duke and sent it to me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Was that from the game where they got beat by Johnny Football?
Maybe.
So we got two dookies.
Johnny Football, Joey Football.
Yeah.
All the same.
The Big Hen did call him Johnny Football earlier today. It was kind of funny.
I got to add the Heisman to my resume then.
Yeah.
I got to put it in the lower third. Heisman Trophy winner.
Your
Johnny
documentary
Football.
was interesting.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of lacking in some aspects.
Well, it was a PR piece.
Right.
Same as Swamp King for Urban Meyer.
Fair enough. So, guys, big game inside Dowdy Ficklen Stadium tomorrow. It's been, to me, there's nothing that beats walking into Dowdy Ficklen Stadium for the first time, like for a home opener, and just, you see the tailgating lots and everything around campus, and it warms your heart.
It does.
And I know it did as a player, Joe, for you. So how weird is it going to be going as a media member / I guess somewhat of a fan?
It's definitely weird. I've never gotten the opportunity to tailgate an ECU football game, and I'm still not getting that chance. Like, that's also something I can't check off the list yet. Maybe I'll stop by the Big Hen, see how he does it. But it's a weird atmosphere to not be a part of and as a player, because you know exactly like what the guys are doing, you know what time it's going to be, you know what the Pirate Walk is like, but now you're on the outside looking in. So I have mixed emotions, but I'm also very excited to see the Pirates take on the Herd.
Well, appreciate your insight, Joe. We'll hear more from you tomorrow right on the pregame show.
Yeah, that's what they tell me.
Patrick Johnson will be hosting that. Philip will be a part of that as well. That'll run from 1 to 3, right, on 94.3 The Game?
Yeah, that is correct.
So we'll have that. I'm planning to drop by around, I think, 2:30 or so. So we'll have the latest there leading into kickoff. And we'll see if the Pirates are 1-1 come Sunday morning. If it's a Victory Monday on the show, we'll find out. But this has been fun, guys. Excited for the home opener. Thank you all for your help all week, Philip and Joey. Joey Football. I almost called you Johnny Football. But it's been fun. We got to get out of here. We'll see you after the game. This has been Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back Monday with more of Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
R&D Brewing is proud to partner with the ECU Pirates, and now you can enjoy Pirates Brew, the official craft beer of ECU Athletics. Pirates Brew is a carefully curated light beer that embodies the spirit of ECU, a refreshing and easy drinking light beer. Pirates Brew by R&D Brewing is available now at grocery stores, local retailers, and at ECU athletic events.
Head over to your favorite store and enjoy a nice Pirates Brew today, or else you'll walk the plank. Hand me another Pirates Brew.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Just because voice over IP telephones are the latest technology in the telephone world doesn't mean they're the right choice for you and your business. Whether your internet provider is unable to support a voice over IP phone system, or you don't have a need for high-tech features and simply want to stick with a traditional system, Spain Telecom is here to help. Spain Telecom offers a variety of services to keep your business connected and competitive. We're confident we can find the right phone system for you and your business, a system that addresses all your communication needs. Looking for a new phone system that won't break the bank? In addition to new systems, Spain Telecom also offers gently used systems that are in great shape and can save you money. No matter your needs, Spain Telecom has a solution for you. Whether it's voice over IP, on-premise systems, new or used, give us a call at 252-353-2006 and let Spain Telecom help you with your communications needs.